Insane passive farms. Okay, let's get into it. So at number 1 is the Achatina. Now you need these Achatinas. Any tribe who's anyone has these Achatinas. Basically these snails, they poop Achatina paste, which is exactly the same as cementing paste. It's just called Achatina paste. So you need them for building metal, turrets, and about everything in the base game. And they also store up to 100 Achatina paste in its inventory over about an hour. So you definitely need one or many of these things. I've seen people with big farms of up to 10 to 20 to 30 of these things in one area. The best way to do this is hold E, enable wandering, and put them in a cage. Now they'll only create paste if they're on wandering. So put them on wandering, put them in a cage, and Bob's your uncle. You've got a beautiful Achatina farm. And second on the list is the dung beetle. That when you enable wandering, it turns the poop into fertilizer, as we see here. And it's picked up some medium animal feces, some flaming medium animal feces, which is from the pyromane. And the pyromane poops flaming poo, so it basically turns into charcoal. So that's a passive charcoal farm. It's not the best, but if you want charcoal for free and passively, basically have a load of these around your dung beetle, and the dung beetle would turn it into charcoal. Okay, so what you do with the dung beetle is you hold E, behavior, and enable wandering, which will allow the dung beetle to change the flaming poo into charcoal, the normal poo into fertilizer and oil. So it's an unlimited oil farm as well. So it will turn all these over time into fertilizer. Now this has a radius, and the higher level you get, the bigger the radius of poop it can pick up. If you level into it into melee damage, it will literally increase the range even further, so it can pick up the poop even further. Okay, and third on the list is our lovely Oviraptor. Now these things you do not need to enable wandering, they'll just passively pick up eggs. Now remember to always have a meat trough or some sort of trough with meat in it nearby, because this thing does eat eggs. So it'll eat meat first and then it'll eat the eggs. So if it gets hungry, it'll start eating the eggs. Okay, and for this thing, if you level melee damage, it will also increase the range at which it picks up eggs. The higher the level you get, the bigger the range initially is. Okay, and these dodos will pick up it, and these dodos will lay eggs. There we go, it's laid a dodo egg already. So that's perfect, it's picking up the eggs like we wanted. Now we move on to the phoenix. Now the phoenix is a very rare one. It's hard to get and it's rare, and usually people get the lowest level phoenix possible and then they clone the hell out of it and watch it poop. Here we go. Okay, so it just defecated and it drops you pearls. It dropped me 15 pearls. Okay, so imagine if you get a number of these things. If you get, say, like 30 of these things, imagine how many times it will poop and drop silica pearls. Now unfortunately you have to do it by hand right now until extinction comes out, to which then you put down gachas and the gachas will pick up the silica pearls. And one last thing at the very end I'd like to say, if you have a load of dodos and you have them laying eggs all the time, dodos are the fastest creature to lay eggs in Ark. So if you have the dodos laying eggs all the time, it will then, you can then make basic kibble out of it. Now you get a huge amount of eggs over time from the dodos, and you can make a huge amount of basic kibble. And what that is, you're not going to use it for taming. You're going to put that straight in your troughs to feed all your creatures or your big tames that you want to grow up, such as the gigas. Usually I see people putting tons of this kibble with the gigas so they live a lot longer. It's like a secondary thing. So if you go to sleep for the night and your troughs run out of meat, they'll then start eating the basic kibble. So your gigas will survive. So right guys, that concludes my passive farm. Thank you guys for watching. If you like my content, like, comment and subscribe. Peace out.